Hey, my name is Brent here on Cloudy the Chance of Meeples. Today on the channel, we're taking a look at a small little game called Argh, or Animals Revolt Against Humans. And this is a small little game, comes in a small little box. There's legitimately 24 cards in this game. And in this game, you are animals that are tired of being lab rats or test subjects for the humans. And so you will be searching for bomb cards to construct a bomb to put an end to the humans and revolt against the humans, much like the game says. But you may not be able to find the bomb pieces, and so you will be trying to create the biggest army. Let me show you how this plays. It's a small card bluffing game. I'll show you how this plays. My final forecast coming up. First, cue the thunder. So the radar overview for Argh, Animals Revolt Against Humans. It's like Pinky in the Brain in bluffing card form. Not totally, but animals, they've had enough being lab rats. They want to take over the world. They want to create a bomb and destroy the humans. So, how does this game play? Well, this is a small card game. As you see, there are 24 cards and 4 player aids in this small little box. Each player gets a player aid showing the distribution of the 3 decks, yellow, blue, and green. You win automatically if at any point you can have 2 out of the 3 bomb cards face up in front of you in your tableau. How do you get these cards? Well, let me explain. On your turn, you will look at a card from one of these 3 piles, or you'll steal a card from an opponent. But let's say, for example's sake, that I am the starting player and I'm going to look at the green card, top card in the green deck. I look at this secretly and I see it's a spy. Well, spies are bad unless you have an even number of spies. So if I keep this and this is the only spy I have, I pretty much cannot win the game except if I get 2 out of the 3 bomb parts, which someone can win the game without getting 2 out of the 3 bomb components, or 2 of the 3. So I would look at this and then I would choose to either keep it. If I keep it, I put it face down in front of me and then it'll be the next player's turn. Or I could offer it to my opponent. If they accept it, they immediately receive it and they have to place it face up in front of them. If they say, nope, I don't want your offer, I then have to flip it over and keep it face up in front of me. So that's what you're doing on your turn, or you're stealing a card from someone that has a card face down. You can only steal cards that are face down. So this would be a card that the player on my left has, and it's my turn. I could take one of these 3, or I could steal it. And let's just say I'm going to steal the card. As soon as I steal it, I have to reveal it. Okay, so you're trying to get 2 out of the 3 bomb cards, and you're trying to avoid these spies, because again, if you have an even number of or an odd number of spies at the end of the game, you don't have a chance to win unless you have 2 or 3 bomb cards. But let me show you what's in these decks. Okay, so you have bomb cards. You have, this crazy hamster. He cancels out one of your cards that has the red diamond, much like the spy. Some of them are straight points. Okay, the lizards, if you have, there's 1 in each color. If you have 1 out of the 3, you get 1 point. 2 out of the 3, 5, all 3, 10. Okay, another spy. You also have just straight plus points and minus points, because if the game ends, when the game ends, not if, when the game ends, it's when one of the 3 piles has been exhausted. If nobody has, won with the bombs, then you go and you count your score with the points. So minus points, plus points, blue, more lizards, spies. This mad scientist will cancel out one of your star or one of your plus points. It's got minus, negative, that's that. And then the green has the best, 4 points. These mosquitoes, they will turn a minus to a plus or a plus to a minus. More lizards, +7, bomb, and this farmer is -4, and the green has 2 spies instead of one, whereas the yellow and the blue only have one of each. So yeah, on your turn, you're looking at a card from one of the piles, you're offering it to your opponents. If they accept it, they flip it over. If they don't, you flip it over, or you're stealing a card. You're trying to get bombs, you're trying not to get spies, and you're kind of looking at other people, which piles they are grabbing from, depending on what cards they have face up in front of them or face down in front of them. Maybe they're trying to find a certain card or what have you or not. But a little bit of craziness in Argh. Now, let's now check out the final forecast. So the final forecast for Argh: animals revolt against humans. First off, I will say I'm not a fan of the name. Argh, well, that's fine, but when you have animals revolt against, and then the G is part of your acronym, when the first letter of against is A, it's whatever. It is what it is. I love the artwork. It's the same artist as Honeybuzz and Heitsiek, and this is designed by Romerick Gallinier. I hope I said those names right. My apologies if I didn't. But what comes in this game, you have 24 cards, 3 different decks of cards. You got the green deck, the blue deck, and the yellow deck. And you're just trying to outwit and bluff your opponents to try to make a bomb or have the strongest team without having some spies, okay? This is a pretty simple game. This game can be played in 5 minutes. This game can be played in 15 minutes. It says 5 to 15 minutes. I'd be hard-pressed to ever play a game in 15 minutes. This is like a quick 5 to 10 minute max, unless you're sitting there thinking, should I give you this? It's +7. But then will you think it's a good one if it's a bad one? Like, it has that like bluff and double bluffing element to it. And so the game can end really quick. I think I've actually played a game where it ends in this like second round, because someone had a bomb card, offered it to an opponent, and then they accepted it right away. And then they had a bomb face up, and then it was their turn later on, or like their second turn, and they had a bomb card, and then they offered it to me, and I declined it, and then they flipped over and they won. So you can have like ridiculously fast games of Argh. But I like the bluffing and the double bluffing. It's not a deep game by any stretch of the imagination, but at the beginning, obviously, you maybe are keeping a few cards. Maybe a few are face up. But as the game progresses, and again, it can progress pretty quickly, when people have cards face down, that's when it gets exciting. Like, am I going to offer a bomb to someone? Or who am I going to offer a bomb to? Because if someone has one face up, you clearly don't want to offer them. Because if they actually take it, then they automatically win. Because you have 2 bomb cards face up, you win. But then if you keep it, then they start wondering, there's a blue bomb card still out there. And Brent just kept a blue card. So then is it a bomb card because he didn't want to offer it to me because he thought I would take it? Or is it actually a bad card? Maybe it's a spy. So it has that little bit of an intrigue, and when the decks start depleting, you have a little bit more of that mind game. But again, it's very, very short. But this has been a lot of fun for me. I actually play this one at work a bunch with some of my coworkers, and we just have a lot of fun because it's a quick game that we can play on, a 15-minute break. You legitimately can play around on a 15-minute break or a couple rounds on a lunch hour, what have you. You can't take yourself too serious. You can't take this game too serious. And I think the design or the artwork shows that. And it's kind of cool, actually. My kids and myself actually just finished a book called The Stowaways. And in that book, it talks about these mice that get kidnapped to become lab rats. And then there's a little girl involved. And we were reading the story, and I stopped, and I was like, hey, guys, part of the story reminds me of Argh. And I've played this with them quite a bit. And they've had a lot of fun. They take a card, and they say, hey, Dad, you want this? It's a really good card. Clearly, it's not a really good card. And then I'm like, no, I don't want it. And they flip it over and they're like, man, I got something negative. But then the next time they do the same thing and it actually is a really good card, and I say no, and then they think they're just hilarious because they kind of like double bluffed, or they like bluffed me, I guess, per se. So I've had fun playing this at work. I've had fun playing this with my kids. I don't know if it's necessarily a good thing that my kids can bluff and can succeed well in this game. But as a dad, maybe I don't want that. But we've had a lot of fun. I will also say the spies, the green deck, there's 2 spies, whereas the other 2, yellow and blue, there's only 1. But there's also more good cards in the green deck. And of course, if you have 1 spy, you can't win the game. So then you're digging through different decks, trying to find those other spies. So then you see what people are going for. So you can kind of read the table a little bit with, depending on which spy cards are face up, or which cards are all out there. Really thinking or kind of talking about this game being bigger than it is. It truly isn't. It's like a short filler bluffing game, but I think to end the night or to start off the night, you'll play a couple rounds, and you can just laugh at your friends around the table. Because I will say, I played one time where I openly said, you know what, person on my left, I'm giving all good cards to him, and I'm keeping all the bad cards. And like legitimately the first card, or no, I said opposite. I said, I'm giving all the bad cards away. I'm keeping the good cards. The first card I put down, it was a spy. And then the next player just grabbed it right away. And then we just laughed at each other because I just totally lied to them. And I bluffed it. I was bluffing, and yeah. So Argh, I think it's a fun game. It's not an amazing game, but I've had a lot of fun with it. So I'm going to give it a 70% chance of meeples for animals revolt against humans. I will also say that I'm not a fan of boxes that aren't flush. So overall, 70% chance meeples for Argh. My name is Brent. Until next time, grab your umbrella. The forecast is cloudy with a chance of meeples.